It is uncommon in the sneaker industry for a professional sports figure to have a player-exclusive color variant of a shoe. It is even more rare for that specific shoe to later be made available for public purchase. Since Caitlin Clark, a guard for the Indiana Fever, introduced a player-exclusive variant of the Nike Kobe 5 Protro prior to a WNBA playoff game, enthusiasts have remained optimistic about the eventual launch of these visually striking sneakers. Despite various reports regarding the future availability of Clark's exclusive colorway, a release date has now been announced. The sneaker Instagram profile wnba Kicks shared that the Nike Kobe 5 Protro Indiana Fever colorway is anticipated to be released on Sunday, June 1st. While this news is certainly thrilling, Nike typically refrains from releasing prominent shoes on Sundays. This launch would be exclusively available on the Nike SNKRS app, where releases for highly anticipated sneakers generally occur between Thursday and Saturday. Moreover, the June 1st release date does not align with any significant game on the Fever's calendar, as the team will be experiencing a 4-day hiatus during that period. New Indiana Fever player Sydney Colson accurately noted that the heightened visibility surrounding the league's prominent teams can enhance the respect accorded to the entire WNBA. This illustrates why discussions regarding Caitlin Clark's media coverage are often misdirected. Indeed, the Fever will feature in 41 out of 44 games broadcast nationally during the 2025 WNBA season, which is certainly justified. In the previous season, Clark and the Fever averaged over 1 million viewers per game, contributing to almost all of the highest-rated matchups the league has witnessed in over 2 decades. Therefore, it is understandable that the WNBA and its broadcasting partners would aim to feature the primary draw as extensively as possible. The challenge arises when this is portrayed as a negative aspect for other teams. This framing was evident during an appearance by Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier on ESPN's First Take. When host Molly Kareem inquired if it was equitable for the WNBA to showcase the Fever nationally so frequently, while the reigning champion New York Liberty had only 32 games on national television, the entire premise overlooked the influence of media partners in determining which games are broadcast, including ESPN, a network that experienced its highest viewership for the WNBA in 2024, largely due to Clark and the Fever. Furthermore, it unfairly minimizes the significance of the Liberty's 32 aired games. For context, the Los Angeles Lakers topped the NBA with a total of 39 games scheduled for national television broadcasts this season. Only the Lakers, Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics, and New York Knicks were slated for a greater number than the Liberty and Las Vegas Aces are presently. It should be noted that the NBA offers a larger selection of games, yet the exposure that both the Liberty and Aces are projected to receive is significant. This Liberty squad was part of the most viewed WNBA Finals game in this century, the championship clinching game 5 against the Lynx. It is reasonable to surmise that many fans who became engaged in the excitement surrounding Clark also contributed to this viewership increase, as they developed an appreciation for several of the outstanding players in the league, including Collier. Considering the topic's nature, it would be intriguing to analyze the total hours of coverage the WNBA had obtained on shows like First Take prior to Clark's inaugural season. This concept can likewise be transferred to the collegiate level. Within countless analytical articles assessing the viewership figures in the first year without Clark, necessary context frequently appears to be lacking, as if the events surrounding Clark and Iowa occurred in isolation. While the viewership for the NCAA tournament has declined compared to last year thus far, it marks an increase from the earlier years preceding that. This demonstrates the ongoing growth of the sport, which coincides with Clark's remarkable rise in popularity. Chiny Ogwumike famously referred to Caitlin Clark as the Needle in the same discussions where the previously mentioned interview with Collier occurred. However, it is important to note that the entirety of women's basketball has evolved alongside her. It is imperative that reasonable contextual understanding is consistently integrated into discussions regarding Clark and the WNBA, rather than attempting to generate controversy over a topic that should be celebrated. Caitlin Clark's rise as one of the premier WNBA players during her rookie year attracted considerable scrutiny, as the Indiana Fever standout's talent was frequently highlighted throughout the summer. Miller appeared on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes this month, and she addressed big dummies, who made Clark's race a focal point of discussion. "I'm going to be honest because it needs to be addressed," she stated. "I relate to that young lady, and I empathize with her. I understand what it feels like to be disliked. I know the experience of being a black woman and facing animosity due to my race. I can't fathom what this young lady feels. I don't want to use the word hate, but she may feel disliked." She brought some criticism upon herself to a degree, due to her confidence, which is entirely justified. And I admire that trait in her. However, witnessing the dynamics and the media's narrative was telling. I was gratified and proud to see that the narrative did not reflect the truth, and Angel, Reese, and she interacted so well together. Miller praised Clark and Angel Reese for setting aside any prior enmity they may have shared to unite for the 2024 All-Star Game and perform cohesively on the court. "I was unaware of her abilities and how adeptly she perceives the game in a three-dimensional manner, displaying a thoughtful approach. Defensively, she exceeded my expectations and the credit I attributed to her," Miller remarked. "Thus, observing her and spending a bit of time together, one insight I have gained is the importance of allowing these young athletes to express themselves." When critics failed to acknowledge the influence Clark had on the game in such a brief period, Miller expressed his astonishment. "I thought, come on, you big dummies. Is she receiving excessive praise? Indeed. However, she was in her backyard, investing the same amount of time, possibly even more than you did," Miller stated. "I cannot blame her for the opportunities presented to her. Look, given all that she has received, one cannot argue that the circumstances might have shifted had she not met the expectations. Clearly, people are still anticipating her failure." Clark was designated as Time magazine's Athlete of the Year, which elicited discontent within the league. Sheila Johnson, co-owner of the Washington Mystics, commented on CNN that the accolade should have celebrated the entirety of the WNBA. Why couldn't they have featured the WNBA on that cover, with the title, "The WNBA is the League of the Year, acknowledging all the talent we possess," Johnson remarked. "By singling out a single athlete, it fosters resentment. And now, we are starting to hear allegations of racism within the WNBA, which I do not wish to hear." The Fever underwent a significant transformation over the offseason, fielding a notably different roster than the previous year. Stephanie White succeeded Christy Sides as head coach, beginning her tenure on the bench. The team also acquired Dewana Bonner, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham to enhance the lineup. The 2025 WNBA season is approaching, and the Indiana Fever are set to emerge as a team to monitor. This is not only due to Caitlin Clark entering her second year after a remarkable rookie season, but also because they have added seasoned talent to support her. This includes two-time champion Sydney Colson, who has shared her insights regarding the Clark phenomenon. "It was incredible," Colson remarked about Clark's influence on the league and Indianapolis as she was presented by the team. "There's truly no other way to describe it. I believe you are witnessing a team that is now influencing the local economy. People are traveling from various locations, whether out of state or even internationally, to watch the games. That is something noteworthy." Afterwards, a journalist informed her that she has been examining the economics related to Clark's impact. "Yeah, man, I try to stay informed," Colson responded with a chuckle. "It has been inspiring to observe. Caitlin is an exceptional athlete, and she is destined for success here for many years." Nonetheless, the point guard is undaunted by the spotlight that Indiana is currently attracting. "I'm transitioning from a team that was heavily engaged with the media, where people were eager to watch us, to another that is arguably the most discussed team in sports at the moment," Colson expressed to the press. "It's thrilling to be included in a team that radiates such positive energy. The point guard signed a one-year contract worth $90,000 with the Fever on February 6th and is anticipated to play as a backup to Clark, who recorded an average of 35.4 minutes per game during her debut season. In contrast, Colson, aged 35, averaged 8.0 minutes per game while playing for the Aces last season. Colson is just one among several fresh additions to the Fever's lineup for the 2025 season. She joins the ranks alongside three-time champion Natasha Howard and two-time champion Dewana Bonner. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham has signed with the Fever.